friends, my name is Emily and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you the Q3 stats from my reading journal. So between July, August, and September, I read a total of 23 books. 9 of those books were new buys, 2 were from my TBR, 4 were borrowed from the library, 5 were rereads, 1 was a DNF, and 3 were ARCs, which is a new to me category. Are they new books? Are they borrowed books? Like I haven't really thought a lot about what an ARC is since I've left Indigo and I'm not getting ARCs from publishers on a regular basis. I have to go out of my way to request ARCs at this point. Do I consider them new because they're taking up the space of a new book? I hadn't really thought about that. There wasn't a space for it in any of the other tracking for this year, and I'll have to think about that for 2022. Do I want to make an ARC category? Am I going to request ARCs from publishers? I have to noodle on that, but I did make a note of it. 15 of the 23 authors were not men. 9 of the 23 authors were men. Does that add up to 23? It does not. It adds up to 24. Somewhere in there, someone's been counted an extra place. Good. 7 of the 23 authors are BIPOC authors, and 8 of the 23 authors are queer authors. Let's get out a calculator. So 15 times 100 divided by 23 is 65% women. 7 times 100 divided by 23, 30% BIPOC, and 8 times 100 divided by 23 is 35 if we round up percent queer authors. So in the previous quarter, I had read 70% not men. This quarter, I'm down by 5% not men. The percentage of BIPOC authors stayed the same at 30%, and the percentage of queer authors actually went up to from 26 to 35%. So I'm not doing terribly bad. I'm not doing terribly good either. Like, the goal was definitely to increase more BIPOC authors and to like put my money where my mouth is and actually diversify my reading and do the diverse reading. 30% isn't great. I haven't really tracked stats before, so I'm not sure how that compares to other years. Like, I feel like I'm reading more authors of color, just in that I am reading a lot more literary fiction this year, and anything that's in genre fiction, I'm definitely trying to seek out not white men in those genres. This is my first time tracking my stats really, and I'm just sort of trying to find a benchmark to see how well am I actually doing compared to how well I think I'm doing. The last thing that I feel like is probably worth looking at is how many books I hauled. And so I hauled 15 books. So considering I read only 9 new books, that's not great. If we look through the titles that I hauled, so in July I hauled The End We Start From, Fates and Furies, A Psalm for the Wild Built, Kindred, Everyone Knows Your Mother is a Witch, and The Wolf and the Woodsman. At this point in time, I have read all but 2 of those books, which is pretty good. My goal is to not haul more than I'm reading, which is not 100%, but in keeping track of it, I feel like I'm doing better than I typically have. In August, I hauled 2 books, and I read 1 of 2 books. I read Fight Night, and I hauled and haven't yet read Man Froné. In September, I hauled Beautiful World, Where Are You?, Mansfield Park, Jekyll and Hyde, Under the Whispering Door, and The Last Graduate. As of this moment, I have only read 2 of those books. I still have Mansfield Park, Under the Whispering Door, and The Last Graduate unread. The Last Graduate, I'm halfway through right now. I'm stuck on it because it's just a giant info dump. I really enjoyed the first book, and then I watched all the reviews for the first book where everybody was struggling with that, and now I can't unsee it. Under the Whispering Door is on my end of year TBR, and Mansfield Park I just picked up because classics were on sale, and I sort of want to read all of Jane Austen's works. Like Shirley Jackson, she's a woman with 6 published novels. It's doable. I could do it. I feel like I'm doing pretty okay. I feel like tracking my stats is definitely interesting, and I almost want to get a little bit more nuanced next year. Like, I would like to start maybe tracking pages. That could be interesting to see. Like, am I reading a similar number of pages each month, while the number of books each month varies wildly? I would also maybe like to track, am I reading any works in translation? I suspect very few. I can maybe think of one off the top of my head this year, and it's The Strange Library by Haruki Murakami, not even in this last quarter. I don't think I've read anything in translation, really. As I'm nearing the end of the year, as we're past Q3, we're 2 months into Q4, I'm starting to think about how stats tracking is working, what I like about it, and what I would like to know more about. And none of this is like a pressure thing. Like, I thought it might maybe be a weird thing that puts like weird pressure on me. It's just fun to have this data. It's fun to compare to see if I'm doing as well as I think I'm doing in terms of diversifying my reading. So I've been really enjoying it. Those are my Q3 stats. I hope that you're doing well with your reading. I hope that you managed to squeeze in at least one favorite read, a really happy-making read in this last quarter of the year. Thank you to my patrons for making videos like this possible. I hope you are doing well, that you are staying safe, and I will see you soon with another video. Bye!